What is happening in the Utah housing market? Is it going to crash? July 2022 update is here, so stay tuned. Okay, so everybody is talking about the housing market and what they should expect. Is the market going to crash? Home prices cannot keep going up the way that they have. It's a bubble. Interest rates are too high. People are being priced out of the market. I mean, if you follow real estate, you know all of the headlines and all of the things that people are going to say. So I want to give you not just a look at statistics and throw things out at you and look at a bunch of charts and stuff like that. However, stay tuned till the end because I am going to show you a shocking chart dating back to 2006. But that's not what I'm going to cover at the beginning of this video. I'm going to talk about what I'm actually seeing in the market for both sellers and buyers and what to expect either way. So it's no secret that our inventory has jumped from where we were at our lows in 2020 to where we are now. We're sitting at about a 2-month supply of homes on the market. So what we're seeing, generally speaking, now there's always those neighborhoods that just go like that, or particular homes with features that just go like that no matter what the market conditions are. So I'm talking about the larger scope generalization of what's happening, not those anomalies or outliers of hot properties or hot neighborhoods. But we are at, like I said, about a 2-month supply of homes right now. So we're seeing longer days on market, a lot more price drops. And let me just tell you about that. So yesterday we had 343 new active listings hit the market in the state of Utah on July 7th. We had more price drops, over 400 price drops in the state yesterday than what we actually listed. And this is across the board. Let me tell you, I did a relocation report for somebody whose company is moving them. And working with the relocation company, I have to do a report for that. Well, in their particular city, which was Saratoga Springs, when I pulled this report, I am not exaggerating. I counted each and every single listing that was active, which was at the time last week was about 153, 163. I can't remember exactly. And I looked at every single one of those active listings. 80% of the listings have had a price drop. Now, some of those, the 20-something that were not dropped, had either just been listed that day or maybe it was the day before, and then some have been on the market longer. But it just gives you some insight. If you're looking at selling, it's not the best idea to start high. I know when the housing frenzy was going on and people were paying above, you could pretty much do anything and ask a ridiculous amount of money and you'd still get offers. That's not the case. You cannot use that strategy going into this market. The other thing that I noticed, I saw new construction homes with builders that were offering lease to own options. Now, their rent prices were crazy, don't get me wrong, but they're coming out. You saw concessions, you saw lender incentives, even on existing homes. So sellers are starting to do things that we haven't seen in a few years. I can't tell you how many carpet allowances I've seen straight out of the gate for sellers offering to buyers. Buying down points to make a home more affordable for a buyer with these high interest rates that sellers are willing to contribute. The other thing I want to share with you, now it is only 7 days into July, so it's very difficult for me to give you an idea of an accurate representation for July. But I want to point out from May of 22 to June of 22, we actually had fewer homes sold in June. we had a lower square per square foot price and a lower average sales price in June than we did in May. And we have not seen that since 2019, where we've had that, summertime, everybody's moving, everybody's trying to get placed where they want to be now that kids are out of school and all that. So June is a busy month for us, but we saw drops this June. Okay, so I am going to jump into this graph now, but I want to tell you, stay tuned for my video coming up next week where I am going to talk about a staggering increase in sales price, or sold price, I should say, in one particular city here in the Wasatch Front from July of 2020 till June of 22. Crazy increase. And you're going to kind of see what I'm talking about in this coming graph segment, but let's take a look at it. Okay, guys. So one thing that I want to show you with the stats, everybody keeps saying, is this a bubble? Is this going to crash? But I want to show you the home sales graphs. Now, it's super crowded because I went back to 2006. So I only did the second and third quarter because April through September is when most of the real estate is going to take place. And you're going to see the biggest picture here in Utah as a whole. Now, everybody is talking about the crash back in, 2007, depending on, what you think. But I want to show you here. So at that time, we had over 24,000 homes listed in the third quarter of 2007. We also only sold just over 8,900 homes. That was really the biggest gap of housing inventory supply compared to what was being sold. And you can see there, you're talking over 10,000 unit difference between homes listed and homes sold. But I want you to take a look at the blue line, the light blue line here that goes through the center, which gives you a clear picture of what home prices did. So you really see the home prices shoot up in the middle of 2020 when COVID hit. Dating back to 1996, which was the furthest back that the statistics go on the MLS, we have never had a spike in home prices like we have seen since COVID. So I know people love to say it's all the Californians moving in and things like that, but we've never had a pandemic like we did with COVID, and we've never had a home pricing spike like we did with COVID. So I am of the opinion it's not something anybody can predict. Nobody predicted that COVID was going to happen and we were going to be faced with a global pandemic. Just like I don't think anybody can give a very good, accurate description or estimate of what's going to happen in the housing market, because not only are we facing unprecedented home price increases, we're facing a recession coming up. There's talk of that, huge interest rate hikes where home loan prices are in the 6% bracket. But I want to call out, it's not the doom and gloom that everybody thinks with our inventory supply. So this is the second quarter of 2022 where we had 12,000 homes sold compared to just over 18,000 listed. So, our line of inventory versus sold is staying pretty consistent with what we've been seeing all the way back to after the housing crisis, or the housing crash, I should say, that ended kind of about 2008. We really started to turn the table, 2009, 10, 11, it slowly started increasing. But I really just wanted to take an opportunity. I am a visual person. So I wanted to give those of you that work off visuals like me an idea of how historically the Utah housing market has looked, dating back to just before the last market crash. But like I said, when I looked at the numbers dating back to 1996, and it's just too much on this screen, so I didn't want to confuse things. We have never had anything even close to this kind of spike in pricing. So I hope you enjoyed my video today. If you have questions, feel free to reach out to me. Like I said, I'm always here to help. But as always, make it a great day.